Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानशलाकया चक्षुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. So I'm very happy to be with you today on this beautiful appearance of Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra in Birmingham. That the deities of Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra, they have a very special form. We do not find them anywhere else than in Jagannath Puri and all our temples all over the world. The history of these deities is a history or a story about the love between God and all his living entities. So Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, they have very special forms. Lord Jagannath has big eyes and his arms are very short in his body. How is it possible? But they are surprisingly blissful. But how is it possible, such a deity, that although in the history of the carving of Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra, also King Indradyumna, many thousand years ago, was very surprised to see these forms of these deities. The forms of these deities, that it has a history. Because many thousand years ago, King Indradyumna had a desire to worship personally the Lord. And formally, this is a whole story. The Lord in his form was Nila Madhav. Nila means a blue form. Madhav means very sweet. He appeared before King Indradyumna Maharaj. And he told him, "Soon I will appear to you in the form of wood." And so, sometime later, it's a whole history. We are beginning somewhere in the middle of the history, because our time is limited. But one day in Jagannath Puri, that after Indradyumna Maharaj and his descendant had constructed a big temple for the Lord to come, then the Lord, he appeared in a dream of Indradyumna Maharaj and said, "I will soon appear in the form of wood." And so one day, 3 big logs of wood were washed on the shore, on the beach of Jagannath Puri. And Indradyumna Maharaj understood this is a form of the Lord, we will need to carve deities from this Lord, from this wood. But unfortunately, the wood was so heavy that the logs of wood were so heavy that nobody could move them. But there were some very strong men. They were descendants of the Sabaras. The Sabaras it was a tribe. They were pig keepers, but they were very, very strong. And one of these Sabaras went to the beach and was able to move these wooden logs. And he brought his wooden logs in a place where they would be carved. But then Radhyumna Maharaj invited so many carpenters who were able to sculpture deities, make deities of wood, but none of them could even make all their utensils. They failed to make even a scarf into the wood. Nobody could do it. And then an older carpenter appeared and said, I will do it. But there is one condition, that I will carve these deities, and it will take a few weeks, but I want to do it behind closed doors. Behind closed doors. Nobody can interrupt me. Nobody should come in. If someone comes in, I disappear. So Maharaj Radhyumna, he agreed, and the old carpenter, he was really an old man, and he started to carve, and King Radhyumna every day heard the sound of the carving outside. Every day he was hearing that. But after 2 weeks it stopped. And King Radhyumna was thinking, this carpenter is very old. Maybe something happened to him. At the other side, he was thinking, I've promised not to enter, but what to do? Finally, he opened the door and he saw that the carpenter was gone. And then he saw these deities, with big eyes, and they had no real legs and arms. He was thinking, these deities, they are unfinished. And it's my fault. I interrupted the carving. I broke my promise. And he felt very bad. He was thinking, now I will fast till death. But then the great saint Narada Muni appeared. And when Narada Muni saw these deities, he said to King Radhyumna, I saw these deities before. I saw them in Dwarka. And then Narada Muni told Radhyumna Maharaj about his experience in Dwarka. There, Dwarka, there Krishna lives with 1,616 queens. And one day, Mother Rohini from Vrindavan, the mother of Balaram, visited Dwarka with some other residents of Vrindavan. And Narada Muni said, the main queens of Krishna in Dwarka, which is Queen Rukmini, Queen Satyabhama. They wanted to inquire confidentially from Rohini about the love the residents of Vrindavan, especially the gopis, the love they feel for Lord Krishna. But the queen said, this is very confidential talk. And they asked Subhadra to guard the door, that nobody would come and hear these confidential talks. But then Rohini and some other residents from Vrindavan, they started to speak about their relationship with Krishna in Vrindavan. A very intimate relation in conjugal love, parental love, which is unknown in Dwarka. And they heard these confidential talks. And Subhadra was hearing them, and she became completely ecstatic by hearing it. But then unexpectedly, Krishna and Balaram walked by. Krishna and Balaram walked by, and they saw Subhadra hearing at the door. And they were thinking, what is he hearing? And they started also to hear these confidential talks. And they became so ecstatic that their eyes became very big. And their limbs, their arms were in their body. Identically like the form of Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra that we see here. So this is a very ecstatic form in which the Lord expresses his love for his devotees. And that love at RathaYatra festival is also expressed especially by Lord Chaitanya, who is Lord Krishna appearing in the form of Srimati Radharani, in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And he dances before the cart, and that pleases Lord Jagannath. And it's like the gopis, because there's another story of this ecstatic love, where the gopis visit Kurukshetra during the moon eclipse, and there they meet Krishna. Krishna, after 100 years of separation, they meet Krishna, but they say Krishna is dressed as a prince, and they don't like it. They want Krishna as a coward boy. Because only with that coward boy did they have this loving relationship. So therefore, when they saw the Lord and his brother Balaram, Krishna and Balaram and Subhadra on a cart, they started to pull the cart and bring it back to Vrindavan, because they wanted this intimate relationship of love with Krishna. And that's what we are celebrating today. We are bringing the Lord back to Vrindavan, where there is this intense love between the Lord and the living entity. And that is, the Lord is appearing here with us to invite us again to develop that relationship with him, that relationship of love. We have all this dormant, ecstatic love in our heart, but it must be revived. We can revive this love by chanting Krishna's names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And by dancing in ecstasy, and by tasting Krishna Prasad, spiritual food. And that is what we are celebrating today. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
So Bha in Bharatanatyam means bhav, so the emotion behind it. Ra, so Bhara. Ra means the rag, so the music. And then we have Bharata. Ta means the tal, so the rhythm of the story. And then we have Natyam. Natyam means to dance. So what happens is it depicts a story which includes the rhythm, which includes music and also dance. So we have the wonderful Shreya who's going to perform for us. She's actually still at school. She's just completed her GCSEs. She's been learning Bharatanatyam for a couple of years. So a big warm welcome for Shreya. Haribo!
Hare
So I'm going to need some wonderful volunteers to come to the front. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to use a random generator to make you come forward, okay? If you're not smiling at me, I'm definitely going to pick you. Oh, a lot of smiles now. Good. Okay, Shreya, so if you come forward, what we're going to do, I'm going to pick 3 volunteers to come up. Yes, fantastic. We've got our first volunteer coming to the front. Big round of applause, fantastic. Yeah, you're up, come on. Come. Who would else like to volunteer to come to the front? Yes, we've got the girls, yes, girls do that. And Rahini, come to the front, please. Fantastic. So, Shreya, if you teach us some easy dance steps, okay? Does that sound good? Okay, so we're spread out a little bit. Girls do that, you happy? You can take your shoes off. If it gives you height, you can keep them on. No problem at all. Oh, I think we're ready. Yeah, we're ready. Put it, you want to come? Put it.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannath, 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 Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bole Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Once again, is everybody searching for pleasure? Put your hands up. Who's searching for misery? Nobody. Yeah, everybody's pleasure seeking by nature. And so in this material world, we're trying to find, what do we mean by material? You say this is material, so many material. Material means everything I do, I try to enjoy personally. And so that means it's a world of shortage. Everybody's trying to enjoy cook the same parts of the cake. Everybody wants a bigger part than anybody else. And so therefore there's always disorder and disagreement. So this is material enjoyment. And the nature of material enjoyment, there's never enough. Have you ever noticed? Whatever we get, there's never enough. And so there's something missing. So anti-material means the spiritual world. And so in the spiritual world, the exact opposite is true. Everybody is giving. How is that possible? If we give, we lose. Is that right? You give away your best coat, your best suit, you minus one suit, you minus one watch, you minus so many things. But no, actually, even in the material world, people say it's better to give than to take, because we feel actual pleasure. So that's our constitutional position, to give instead of to receive. And so this Jagannath RathaYatra festival is a festival which is teaching us how to give. Even the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they call the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in this case, Lord Jagannath. Jaga means universe, and Nath means Lord of the universe. So Lord Jagannath is the Lord of all universes, both spiritual and material. And Lord Jagannath is also a sentient being like us. He's not impersonal. It says that we are made after the image of God. He also, because we have two hands, because God has two hands, two arms, two legs, we also have the same. Because it exists in the Supreme. He's a person. He's not impersonal. He's always a person. And so a person likes festivals, he likes reciprocation, he likes to enjoy. So this is also coming from God. He's the biggest enjoyer. And so the nature of the enjoyment in the spiritual world is sat, it's complete, it's always expanding, it's eternal. It's chit, it's full of happiness, full of knowledge, and ananda, full of bliss. We can't experience that in the material world. We're trying, but there's always something short. We get everything we want, and it's still not enough. We get more, and it's still not enough. We want more, more, more. And so Lord Jagannath has come to teach us how we can get that real pleasure. And this pastime of, we pull the cart through Birmingham today and back. It's a pastime between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his pure devotee. His pure devotee is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's the Supreme Lord in the form of a devotee. And there's a competition between the Lord and his devotee, who can give the most pleasure to the other. And so this is a very intimate pastime which takes place in the spiritual world. The close associates of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are always trying to give him pleasure. And Krishna is so grateful that he wants to give pleasure to his devotee. So this is the nature of spiritual life. The happiness is already there. And by a proper process, that happiness can be revealed. We just have to uncover it. It doesn't cost anything. It costs what does it cost? Our pride. We give up our pride of thinking that we're the enjoyer. We put Krishna in the place of being an enjoyer, and then everything starts to change. So then years later, I got a book, and I started reading the book, and I was attracted to following this process. And so in this particular pastime, Lord Jagannath is showing this, is exhibiting to us this intimate relationship between his devotee and himself. And everybody here, everybody in Birmingham, everybody in whole creation is meant for this reciprocation with the Supreme Lord. Personally, not as a distant relationship, as a personal relationship, heart to heart, in so many different humours, so many different ways. And so this is why this is actually the real festival. This is a festival where we can really enjoy from now on, for eternity. And anybody who sees Lord Jagannath on the cart, our founder of Chariot, Srila Prabhupada said, he said that person eventually becomes liberated from this material bondage. So this is the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's very, very kind. And so this is why we have these festivals every year. This festival is meant to show Lord Jagannath to the general public. God reveals himself to everybody so they can be appreciated. There's a long story how Lord Jagannath took the form that he is. It looks very unusual, but we don't have time to explain that at the moment. But just to show the importance of this festival from another point of view is that the leader of this movement, Srila Prabhupada, he was in San Francisco in 1967. He started the movement in 1966 in New York, and now he'd moved to the west coast of America. And one of his disciples, they visited a local shop which sold Eastern paraphernalia. And this particular disciple, she was looking through and she saw these little dolls. There was one yellow, one white and one black. And so she picked out the black one and thought, I wonder who this is. And she took it. And she showed it to a spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada, eyes opened, and he got off his chair and he immediately paid his obeisances. And all the devotees couldn't understand what's happened. He says, now Lord Jagannath has appeared. He says, is there any more dolls there? He says, there's some more, yeah, at the shop. Go and fetch them. And so and from that time on, they brought the other dolls, and he taught his disciples how to worship Lord Jagannath. And then Jagannath was a doll. A doll. Well, in the Shastras, there are directions on how to make a deity.
Help! Goshai was scream, help! This person prayed for food. Tad-dhittam tajam dam dam, dhittam tajam dhim dhim, tham tajam thom thom, tajam jam jam tham. Tajam dhim tajam tam tajam jam jam tajam tat
she was amazed. She saw that the clothes were clean, that the garden, all the leaves, the rubble had been taken away. Kushali, what does it do? It wakes us up, Kushali. Yes, I understand what our true identity is. The second thing that the Bhagavad Gita can teach us in the later chapters is cleansing our hearts. How to build compassion, get rid of lust, anger, greed and envy. And you know, the last thing that the Gita can teach us also, well, there's many lessons, but how many people have this one person in their family that just take ages in the shower? Oh, you guys are smiling. I can tell it's auntie. That's auntie there, right? You all have that one person that takes ages in the shower because they're probably singing, they're taking their time. When you really study this transcendental literature, you really start to enjoy the bliss that comes from here.
Krishna Krishna